party is a long party.
I have different energies for different parties. They may want to swing from the chandeliers. However they want it, they can have it. We make dreams come true. A couple of celebrities aren't going to hurt.
If Sean Combs is focusing on things he cannot control, he will have a miserable experience. When he can call home, when he can visit, the living conditions, exercising maybe an hour a day, showering a few hours a week, if he fixates on that, it is going to be miserable, and every day will feel like a year. On the other hand, if he can learn from those who have come before him and master the experience, my business partner served 26 consecutive years for a nonviolent crime, including 8 years in the penitentiary. He never complained. He focused on his family, trying to prove worthy of the love and support of his family. If he can do that, the experience, it won't be easy. I'm not insane. It will be more bearable. The choice is up to him.
And as far as we know right now, he has been kept in solitary confinement, or the SHU right now, and he's been on suicide watch. How different is that experience from being in the general population?
It's much harder. If you like to be around people, you like communication, if you're an extrovert, and then suddenly you are isolated 23 hours a day on total lockdown, I'm not spinning that it's difficult. It will test the strongest mind. But he has to understand others have gone through it and emerged successfully. And what he and his lawyers have to understand is they have like a messaging problem. They continue to say things that do not get them closer to what they want, which is bond. It's led to indictments. And if he can begin to introspect and kind of reverse engineer some of his choices and recognize it is my decisions alone that have led me here. And if I can communicate differently moving forward, maybe the ultimate sentence, even if convicted, could be better, perhaps could lead to bond eventually. But it can be very difficult in segregation, and his lawyers have to stop blaming and excusing and talking about how difficult the experience is, because here's what a judge is going to say. If you were so concerned about what these filthy living conditions would be like in a detention center, if you were so concerned about your safety, you wouldn't have obstructed justice. You would not have, according to the government, created victims over a sustained period of time. Until he changes his message, more problems are going to follow.
And Diddy allegedly has been accused of using different drugs in the past. Even prosecutors have said on the night he was arrested that there was allegedly pink cocaine in his hotel room.
What's really happening to Diddy behind bars? Diddy's life in prison. Since his arrest, Diddy's life behind bars has been anything but glamorous. The once high-flying mogul, known for his lavish parties and luxurious lifestyle, is now living in a stark, cold prison cell. He's gone from penthouses to a 6x8 cell, one source close to the situation said. Diddy is reportedly struggling to adapt to the harsh conditions of prison life. The routine, isolation, and lack of control are a far cry from the opulence he's used to. Prison insiders say that Diddy is keeping a low profile, but rumors are circulating that he's having a hard time adjusting mentally and emotionally. He's been placed in protective custody due to his celebrity status, but even that doesn't shield him from the psychological toll of life behind bars. For someone used to being in control, the loss of power is said to be hitting him hard. The arrest that changed everything.
15 years to life in prison. That's how serious these charges are. But the main theme here, the main allegation, is that Combs led a criminal enterprise. And the goal of this criminal enterprise, other than to operate a global media and entertainment business, was to engage in the abuse of women, forced labor, prostitution, the distribution of drugs, to use violence and threats, to commit crimes like kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, to carry out their goals, their missions, all the while making sure to satisfy the desires of Sean Combs. And one of those desires, as alleged by the government, by prosecutors, and also alleged by several Combs accusers in separate civil lawsuits that they filed against him, were the commission of freak-offs. So with that in mind, now we're going to get into these shocking details surrounding these freak-offs. And I guess we should start with saying, what are freak-offs, right? Well, let's go to the indictment. It says, quote, Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex with male commercial workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, pleasured himself during, and often electronically recorded. Now, while this indictment came down, I said at the time, this may be a term that is foreign to any person that was not familiar with Sean Combs, but for me, who's been following this whole saga for, what, a year now, I have heard this term multiple times, because in the Cassandra Ventura lawsuit, Combs' ex-girlfriend, and Rodney Little Rod Jones lawsuit, this is Combs' former producer, they discussed the freak-offs in their, again, Now, Ventura alleged, among other things, that Combs would demand her participation in freak-offs and that she would have to be forced to hire the male workers, and that this could happen at any random moment. Jones alleged, among other things, that Combs' son Justin Combs and DJ and record producer Stevie J would engage in freak-offs. Now, to be clear, those specific allegations, those names, those details were not mentioned as part of the criminal case. I will tell you, though, that the idea of this freak-off, now that it is officially part of the criminal case, now that it's mentioned multiple times, this makes me wonder two things from a legal point of view. Number one, it is such a wild concept and a phraseology that it's hard to believe that this is something that was just made up by Combs' accusers. And when I say Combs' accusers, could that be Ventura? Yes. Could that be Jones? Yes. Perhaps the government got this information, this idea of the freak-offs originally from them. And by the way, when I say Combs' accusers, could be Ventura, could be Jones. Perhaps the government got this idea of the freak-offs from them originally, but we don't know. To be clear, we do not know for sure. We do not know who the accusers are, the victims are in this criminal case, who the government's witnesses are, whoever those people may be, because we don't know for sure who is cooperating with the government right now. But the bottom line is the idea of the freak-off, there's enough there to substantiate it that the government is moving forward with this.
Diddy's arrest wasn't just another celebrity scandal. It was the moment everything changed. When federal agents swooped in and arrested him in Manhattan, it sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Known for his larger-than-life persona and untouchable status, seeing Diddy in handcuffs was a stark contrast to the man who once seemed invincible. No one saw this coming, said an insider, describing the arrest as the culmination of months of investigation. As more details emerged, it became clear that this wasn't a one-off situation. The charges against Diddy were serious: sex trafficking, racketeering, and coercion. These accusations aren't just damaging to his reputation, they could lead to a long prison sentence. The arrest has raised a lot of questions about who else might be involved and what the future holds for one of music's most powerful figures. Prison struggles behind bars.
We've been texting back and forth, and I'm just glad that he's alive to text.
Oh, wow. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. But when you think about Kim, I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Mm. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
Tough, man. I think everybody knows, man, if you don't cooperate with the feds, it's going to be all bad for you. It's going to be really hard for you to make it out of that situation, you know, without doing some serious time, man. So, you know, knowing Puff and everything, do you think that he's actually going to cooperate to try to get himself out of the situation?
It depends on what the federal government wants. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by doing a Little Woody is such a genius, and people don't understand, he makes them think he's not as smart as he is. You get it? So Puff would have to do something like that if he get on the stand. Now, as far as Is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life.
Hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. They move, you need to involve the DEA. They move all the dope, okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by customs, by DEA, inside the United States, okay? They move what's called high-grade powder, MDMA. They move cocaine, and they move liquid cocaine in their bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine, I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time.
New details are emerging about the raids at Sean Diddy Combs' homes. After federal agents raided the rapper's multi-million-dollar homes in Miami and Los Angeles on March 25th, sources with knowledge told NBC News March 26th that firearms were found at both properties. Additionally, Homeland Security investigations seized Combs' phones in Miami before he was scheduled to depart for a trip to the Bahamas. While the investigation is still ongoing, a source close to the investigation told NBC News that the raid was connected to allegations of trafficking and sexual assault and the solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms. 3 women and 1 man had been interviewed by federal officials in Manhattan in relation to the investigation, the source shared. In a March 25th statement to E! News, a rep for Homeland Security Investigations said that they had executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation and would provide further information as it becomes available.
Diddy is facing more than just the legal consequences of his actions. He's struggling with the mental and emotional toll of life in prison. He's not used to this kind of environment. One source revealed, used to being in control and surrounded by luxury, Diddy now has to live by strict rules and routines, with no special treatment. Reports suggest that he's finding it difficult to adjust to the isolation and lack of privacy. Some say that Diddy has become withdrawn, spending most of his time alone in his cell, trying to process everything that's happened. It's clear that life behind bars is a huge shock to his system, and there are concerns about how well he's coping. His mental health has been called into question, with rumors circulating that he may be under watch for signs of distress. For a man who's always been on top, this fall from grace is hitting him hard. Allegations of mistreatment. There are whispers that Diddy might be facing more than just the psychological toll of prison life. He could also be the target of mistreatment. As one source put it, he's a celebrity in a place where that doesn't matter, and some people might be looking to make an example of him. While there's no concrete proof yet, there are rumors that Diddy has had run-ins with guards and other inmates. Some suggest that his fame has made him a target for those looking to make his time in prison even harder. It's not uncommon for high-profile inmates to face harsher treatment due to their status, and Diddy's case seems to be no different. His legal team has been tight-lipped about any potential issues inside the prison, but if these allegations continue to surface, it could lead to a deeper investigation into how he's being treated behind bars. Impact on Diddy's empire.
But from music mogul to an inmate, Sean Diddy Combs is denied bail on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering.
TMZ has been following this case for months now, and Charles Latiboutier is joining us to dive deeper into what is happening. Charles, I mean, shocking is an understatement when you hear the details of this case. What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call, because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case who this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them, and it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So
yeah, that's crazy. But the feds, they also revealed that they got photos and videos of Diddy Fricos.
When they did that raid, you understand, what they did was, prior to the raid, they reviewed that civil lawsuit. And that civil lawsuit told, Cassie's civil lawsuit was LeRod had already did it. LeRod hadn't did his yet, did he? Did LeRod do his lawsuit before the raid or after the raid?
Oh, before.
Yeah, so what they did was they reviewed both of those civil lawsuits and found that there was some criminal activity in those lawsuits. We spoke that on Art of Dialogue. We spoke about that on your show. I said if they really wanted him, all they had to do was review those civil lawsuits. And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring him in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City.
The new photo, Ben yesterday looking angry arriving to his LA office where he met up with J-Lo. TMZ caught her arriving along with celeb divorce attorney Laura Wasser, who handled Ben's split from Jennifer Garner. A source tells ET Ben and Jen have been having, quote, a hard time with their split and are trying to move forward in the most respectful way possible.
It was a very vulnerable place to be.
10 days ago, the estranged couple reunited in LA with their kids. We're told they formed special bonds with each other's children and, quote, want those relationships to stay strong. They want to set a positive example. The split has also, quote, been more complicated than it appears on the surface.
But what kind of deal do you think he'll be offered? Because he got to have some kind of information, right, to get a deal, right? He got to tell on somebody.
He'll take anything to give him less time, bro. You got to realize he not going to get less than 15 unless he give up somebody. It got to be something they really, really want from him, bro. He had to have somebody they really, really want. Because they're not going to blow this case like that. It's crazy because if you look at it, he has to either come to them with some information, him and his lawyers, and they have to agree to that. And he got to put something together real soon because they're not playing with him. He has to put something together real soon and say, yo, listen to me. I know this, I know that. It's way bigger than Diddy. He got to do a Nino Brown. This is way bigger than Diddy. And if you take this, I'll testify to you. I'll show you where they did it, how they did it, and I just want to be free. Put me in a camp or somewhere for a few years, because the Fed's still gonna want some time. It's very few times that even if you snitch, that you don't do no time with the Feds. No matter what the circumstances is, they gonna want some time.
While Diddy is stuck behind bars, his vast business empire is feeling the strain. Everything's at risk, one business associate admitted, from his record label to his fashion line and investments. Diddy's absence is causing chaos behind the scenes. His business partners and managers are scrambling to keep things running, but the uncertainty surrounding his legal situation has cast a dark cloud over his entire operation. Financial losses are mounting, and some of his ventures are already showing signs of trouble. With Diddy unable to oversee his businesses, there are concerns about leadership and direction. Investors are nervous, and rumors of potential sell-offs or takeovers are starting to swirl. It's clear that Diddy's empire, which once seemed unshakable, is now on shaky ground, and the longer he stays behind bars, the worse things could get. Celebrities reacting to Diddy's arrest has sent ripples through Hollywood, and celebrities are reacting in different ways. Some of his closest friends and collaborators have come out in support of him, while others have remained silent or distanced themselves entirely. Everyone's watching how this plays out, said a source close to the music industry. Some celebrities have taken to social media to show support, with vague statements about loyalty and friendship, while others are staying far away from the controversy. The entertainment world is divided. Some believe in Diddy's innocence, while others are waiting to see what evidence emerges before making a statement. His arrest has put a lot of people in awkward positions, especially those who've been closely tied to him throughout his career. It's clear that as more details come to light, the reactions from Hollywood's elite will continue to evolve. The FBI's case.
But the names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you. These are individual cases. There are indeed other perpetrators involved. They will be revealed when that particular individual case is ready to be filed. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. And I'm talking about the people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are.
You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January 19th.
That's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out. No, take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, nah. You've been saying this for a long time, bro. And like, people like, yo, why is he saying it like you crazy? But
I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties. So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
But I mean, like, why you never went to those parties, bro? Like, you know, those were like the talk of the town back in the day. Like, is there like a reason why you didn't go?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go to the 90s and Keefe D said he paid him to kill Tupac. It's a little, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries, they went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
But you like one of the first people to like, in entertainment, to call out these people, these crazy people, bro, and that's, you know, and we all like, we rooting for you because we know like the underdog is, like, how did that come about? Like, what makes you so special that you're able to do this?
Yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing.
The nigga Puff was like, yeah, like first he was amping him to get stopped. Then he was like, yo, when we gonna get the chance to, you know, to kick it, like we could just hang out, nigga. We gotta kick it. This is Puff. Okay. He telling me we gotta kick it and shit. And he was like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or some shit? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, what the fuck this nigga just said? I got the fuck away from him because I was like, this nigga like fucking. This nigga just tell me he'd take me shopping. And this is shit that goes on. But there's a little fruit, Puff's a fruit pile. It's a fruit hip-hop, trust me. You see these little weird-ass pictures and shit like that out there, just sitting out there for no reason. Like, you don't see accident pictures with me like kissing niggas. Like, that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look, later you gonna find out a little shit that I be saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Man, listen.
The FBI's case against Diddy is still unfolding, and it's much bigger than anyone first thought. This investigation has been going on for a long time, one law enforcement official said. The charges against Diddy, trafficking, racketeering, and coercion are serious, and the FBI has reportedly been building their case for years. His arrest wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision, it was the result of a thorough investigation into his activities. What's even more concerning is the suggestion that this case could drag in other high-profile figures. The FBI isn't just looking at Diddy, they're reportedly investigating his entire network, which could include other celebrities, business associates, and even political figures. As the case continues, it's clear that this isn't just about one man. It could have far-reaching implications for Hollywood and beyond. Mental health decline. Diddy's mental health is becoming a growing concern as he struggles to adapt to life behind bars. He's not handling this well, one insider revealed. The isolation, the loss of control, and the uncertainty about his future are taking their toll. Reports suggest that Diddy has become increasingly withdrawn, spending long hours in his cell without interacting much with others. Some have even suggested that he may be on suicide watch, though this has not been confirmed. For someone who spent decades at the top of the entertainment world, the abrupt shift to prison life is proving to be too much. Friends and family are reportedly worried about his state of mind, and there are rumors that he's receiving counseling to help him cope. As his legal battle drags on, his mental health will likely continue to be a topic of concern. Public perception shifts. When Diddy was first arrested, public opinion was split. Many people were shocked, unable to believe that someone as successful and beloved as Diddy could be involved in such serious crimes. But as more details emerge, public perception is beginning to shift. The more we learn, the harder it is to see him the same way. One fan commented online, "The footage from his parties, the disturbing allegations, and the FBI's ongoing investigation are all contributing to a growing sense of unease. Some fans are still standing by him, but others are starting to distance themselves. The public's view of Diddy is evolving, and as the case continues, it's clear that his reputation will never be the same. Whether he's found guilty or not, the damage to his image is already done, and rebuilding that trust will be a monumental challenge." The road ahead. Diddy's legal battle is far from over, and the road ahead looks long and difficult. This is just the beginning, one legal expert said. With the FBI building a case, and more people possibly being drawn into the investigation, it's clear that Diddy's time behind bars could stretch out for months, if not years. His legal team is reportedly preparing for a drawn-out fight, and the charges against him could lead to a lengthy prison sentence if he's found guilty. As the public waits for more details to emerge, Diddy's future hangs in the balance. Will he be able to clear his name, or is this the end of an era for one of music's biggest icons? For now, all we can do is watch as the legal battle unfolds and see what other revelations come to light in the weeks and months to come.